Right guys, what is up and welcome back to a brand new video here today and another episode of my MotoGP 20 career mode. And today we are here for a double header, the first of two episodes here today, and the reason being is because today's episode, this first one, as you can tell by the title and thumbnail, is going to be a test session, a mid-season test at Catalunya. So we're going to be doing that in today's episode here today. First of all though guys, if you have missed the last episode, it was the Catalan GP the other day. If you haven't seen it, go click the link guys in the top right hand corner of your screen to go see exactly what happened in the last race and get up to speed so you don't get into any spoilers. But with that being said, we're now going to move into the career mode menu and we're going to see what the plan is for today's episode. Right, so recently we actually got a first upgrade for the bike, and it was for the frame, which is really good. We're still working on aerodynamic upgrades, which are 9 weeks away, 4 weeks away for the electronics, and 4 weeks away for the engine. So we'll try and make some adjustments there after this is done. But first of all, we're going to jump into the official test, and we're going to see what happens here. And then, of course, the next race is Sachsenring, and the one after that is Assen. But let's tackle this test first, and let's see what kind of upgrades the team have for me in this. So, yeah, let's jump into it. Right, so here we are then for the test. We've got 120 minutes. We're not going to need all of that as this will be over, I think, relatively quickly. You can see in the background we've got two bikes. We've got the usual bike, the coloured bike with delivery, and we also have just a carbon fibre black bike, as you can see right there on screen. And those two bikes are Bike A and Bike B. We've got the official one and the prototype. So we're going to jump into a test, first of all, with the official one, which is the one that we've been using this season so far. We're going to try and set a lap, see how the bike feels, and then we'll test out the prototype and see if that is any faster. End of lap 1, and it's not been a particularly great lap, quite scruffy. I've been away for a couple of days, so we've got to try and build our confidence back up. Hopefully we'll get decent lapping by the end of this run, but the first lap is going to be a 32.4, so we don't even beat the threshold, so we'll try and do better this time around. We should be able to beat it on my second attempt, so let's try and get a clean lap in. Right, second lap, much better, much cleaner. This is on the pace. This should beat the threshold, which is good. My tyre actually on the rear is really wearing out. We're using a soft rear and it's absolutely getting fried, so definitely seems like whatever we're doing with this bike, it's using up the rear tyres a bit more than usual. Right, we're now slower on this lap. Rear tyre is just not working anymore as it's overheating quite badly. We'll push for the rest of the lap and see where we finish, but I don't think we're going to beat the personal best we've already set. And we are running soft with 12 laps of fuel on the bike to give us a bit more of a race run and kind of reading when it comes to tyres and fuel and bike performance. But out the final corner, as we get the rear really hot through there, up to the line, and we do not improve. Right, I think we're done now for that. I might try again with some harder tyres, but on the soft tyre we're definitely done. Now we're going to strap on the prototype bike with the same setup and see how she feels. Interesting actually, we almost maxed out the revs there on the pit straight. Pretty much maxed out the gearbox, which was not the case on the previous bike. We're up in the first sector, but I was on my previous lap, my last lap on the previous setup. So let's see how the bike compares in the next two sectors. 2 tenths up, maybe 3 tenths now in sector 3 almost. We actually went a bit slower through sector 2. It didn't feel that bad, but it was slower. We'll see how we end the lap though with sector 4, which was actually pretty good to be fair on my good lap. So this would be an interesting comparison to make. Bit wide there, I've just missed the apex. Try and get that good exit if we can. Get off the curb. Right, let's see what the first lap is. And it's a 1/10 of a second improvement, so we can go faster. Let's try and go for another lap, see if we can get a cleaner running. Wow, this has not been a good lap. Lost a chunk of time through sector 3 there. I think we'll try and go for obviously another run on a different maybe set of tyres just to see what we can do. Or maybe I'll run softs again, but less fuel maybe. A bit more of a quali run. We'll see. Let's try and do one more lap after this and then call it a day. The tyres definitely seem to be holding up a bit better on this prototype bike, which is interesting to see. Right, one more lap. Let's see what we can find on this final one. Big wobble through there, but we're on a great lap here. 4.5 tenths up. Let's see what it is through sector 3. Running in a bit hot, we're going to lose all of it there. Just pushed the brakes too much. 4 tenths up. Rear tyre starting to fade. Let's see if we can still hang on to some of that advantage through sector 4. I'm not too confident. I think we lost it all in the hairpin, but you never know. There could still be some of that in the bike. We could have some time on our side. That was very nice through there. If I can nail this final corner, we may still have a chance. A little bit wide. I would have actually nailed that if I'd just gone in with my original turning, but I had a small correction. Right up to the line. What's it going to be? It is a small improvement on the very last lap. So this bike definitely held up better than the first one. But now what we'll do is we'll lower the fuel. We'll do about quality fuel, so about 4 laps rather than 12. And we'll run double soft tyre again and see what the lap time comparison is between both bikes. Not sure why, but the skin and the livery of the bike has changed now to the original one. As we're now back on bike A, which was the one we started with. But, you know, bike A had a black skin originally, so I'm not quite sure what's happened there. But now we've got 5 laps of fuel in the bike, so we'll see what this can do. We're back on bike A, the first one. There is our time threshold reference to beat. Let's see if we can beat it. The bike does feel a lot more agile already with the lesser fuel, as we are running, you know, 7 laps less. And there we go, straight away. It's a personal best first sector. The time on the right is our personal best with the bike A. You can see on the top left the bike B time. So let's see what we can do with less fuel. And of course we'll try less fuel afterwards with the second bike. It's been very marginal all the way through this lap. Less than a tenth up on all 3 sectors so far. As then now we're getting held up by Petrucci a little bit here. I'm going to try and force my way through on the inside. A little bit of a dirty move there, but just to not affect the lap time. For some reason Petrucci lost all engine sound on his bike as we went past him there. But into the final corner, that's very nice. The penultimate corner wasn't so good, but the final one was. Right up to the line, let's see what this first lap is. And it's a 35.7. It's a massive improvement, so there's a difference in fuel. Let's go for one more, hopefully this time with no traffic. We are up by a fraction, but last time round sector 4 was pretty much perfect. With the exception of the penultimate corner, we absolutely nailed the final corner again this lap. Right, just about avoid staying off the curb, up to the line. What's the lap going to be? And it's actually not an improvement. We lost the tyres at the end of the lap. Right, so we've done 2 time laps. We're now going to go back to prototype bike B, and we'll see what kind of lap time that can do now with the reduced fuel. And then if that's faster again, then we know the second bike is the better bike. 4 tenths up as it stands, but a little bit scruffy through there. I've got a little bit of traffic in the form of Brad Binder on the KTM into the final corner. Power down. Want to try and pull out the slipstream if I can to get an accurate reading. Across the line 35.5, and straight away we are faster than our all-time best on our very first lap on the prototype bike. I think there's more time to find, so we'll go for another one. That's been one of the most dramatic sectors I think I've ever had on a lap. So much stopping and wrong gears and wheeling, and we've thrown it all away. I was the 10th up in sector 1. We'll keep going. There may be some more time to find through sector 3, I feel like. Right then, final couple of corners. Just trying to end the lap as best as I can. Went in a bit too hot there. That's going to affect the exit. A bit too much curb as well. I don't think we'll improve. No, we don't. We did find some time in sector 4, but we didn't improve the lap. Right, we're done. I found some time on that second lap as well in sector 1 and also sector 4, so I reckon there's a good lap in there, maybe a low 35. So bike B is definitely a bit quicker. We've beaten it on both runs, both times. So right, I think we've got a decision to make, and I think I know which one it's going to be. Well, there we go. The test is done, and we are going to go with bike B. Let's do that and let's confirm it, as we'll take that. Are you sure you want to take bike B to next season's winter tests? Yes, we do. We'll be taking that to next season's winter tests. Right, let's confirm it. Right, so here we are then, and I'm looking at the data analyst because I want to change things a little bit in the team, and I feel like we can do better. Both of these guys, of course, have a B rating, so they could both be improved upon, but it's important to not ruin the synergy of the staff, so I want to try and keep it right. But the data analyst for me needs an improvement, and looking at the options, we've got some good options here with the A rating again, A+, and A. So straight away, we're looking at these two guys. And Luca is a very, very big specialist when it comes to the frame and the aero work. And it does mean the synergy doesn't go down by much. The synergy would go down a bit more with Matthew Lee, but he's a bit more well-rounded in also the frame and also the aero. So I feel like it's going to be interesting either way. This one has connections or experience with the Yamaha team, whereas this guy doesn't. So I feel like, looking at the options, I'm liking Matthew Lee. So I think we're going to take him on and sign him up as our brand new member of staff. Right, so there we go then. Matthew has been hired. Now, we'll keep the chief engineer for now. I want to see how the credits also develop in terms of our expenditures and stuff. So I want to make sure we don't ruin the money too much. Also, I want to try and keep the synergy up and not drop it too much. So it's looking okay. Looks like certain departments are stronger. Definitely in the frame and, of course, the aero, and then a little bit less in the electronics and the engine. But, engine's okay because we don't need the straight line speed that much. We're quite good as it is. I feel like we need a bit of frame work and a bit of chassis work. So, yeah, overall, I'm happy with those decisions. I think we're going to improve a little bit with that. And looking at the R&D stuff, currently 3 weeks to go on the engine, 8 weeks to go on the aero, and 3 to go on the aerodynamics, on the electronics, sorry. But we now move into the aerodynamics. I feel like we can work more here and do better. So what we'll do is we'll add some more staff to this. I feel like we can definitely, do better here. So we'll take the guys who aren't working on the frame anymore. So Federico Mattiola, he can go on there. And who else is working on the frame? We've got Ruben Vignola. Anyone else who was working on the frame? Aaron Dominguez. And we have Stefano Servente and also Jacob Baker. So I think, is that everyone? Yes, it is. So we've now got a lot more staff, and now this is only 3 weeks away, so hopefully these guys can churn out the upgrades and crank it up and give us what we need. And yeah, overall, those are the changes we've made, and we should have some more upgrades on the bike very soon, as the current aero upgrade we're working on is going to be airflow reduction. So when the turbulence is generated by the fairing is reduced, running comfort and the rider's position in the saddle can be improved. This intervention reduces the strain on the rider's body, especially when racing down the longer straights. And I have noticed, when you follow a bike, there is some kind of understeer that you do notice when you're not following another bike. So hopefully that can improve moving down the line. I'm tempted to go other upgrades, but of course we've got to wait for this one to end, and then we can do both of these at the same time. So that's going to be very, very exciting in terms of moving forward in terms of the upgrades. And also engine-wise, I am fancying an upgrade, but again, we've got to wait for this one to finish, so we can't do anything else at the moment. Hopefully, though, we can get it soon, and upgrades do arrive quick and thick and fast on the bike. But guys, that is going to be it from me here today in this episode of the MotoGP 20 career mode, and this kind of mid-season test episode, if you will. If you guys enjoyed it, drop a like and subscribe if you are new for daily Formula 1 and MotoGP content on the channel, and also click the notifications bell icon, guys, to not miss out on any content I may upload, and also check out the 2 videos on screen if you have missed them. But that is it from me here today for the test, and I'll see you next time for the German Grand Prix at the Sachsenring.